What is going on, guys? My name is Kenji and welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time watching one of my videos, I'm a second year medical student studying at King's College London, and if you haven't subscribed, then maybe think about doing so. But I've recently hit 2,000 subscribers, which is absolutely amazing. Like, it just blows my mind how many of you have decided to watch my videos. So thank you so much for subscribing. And I always said that when I do reach 2K, I'd love to do a Q&A and just kind of sit down and have a chat with you guys, or rather me chat at you guys. I know it's MMI season and a lot of you are probably stressed out from the interviews, but hopefully if you've been watching my videos, this can kind of be a bit of a break for you guys as well. So I've got my thermos here with some coffee. I really hate cold coffee and I drink coffee so slowly. So yeah, hopefully we can just sit down, have a chat and answer some questions and just have some fun, I guess. Oh yeah, and by the way, I got all these questions from my Snapchat story. So I put out a Snapchat story and asked people to send me in some questions. So if you haven't followed me on Snapchat, please do so. Some of these are also sent in through my email. So here's my email address as well. It'll be on the screen somewhere. And also some of them came from Instagram as well. So follow me on all these things as well. And yeah, send in some questions if you ever have any. So the first question is from Maria, and she asks, where am I from? So this is a bit of a hard question. I'm a bit racially confused, but in terms of where I come from, in terms of my ethnicity, my dad is Japanese, my mum is half English and half Kenyan. So that makes me half Japanese, quarter English and quarter Kenyan. But in terms of where I'm from, I was born in Kenya. I lived there for about 10 years and I moved to the UK when I was about 11 years old. So that was about 11 years ago, and I've lived here ever since. But I also lived in Tokyo for a year when I was 6 years old. So I went to school in Japan as well. But yeah, that is kind of where I'm from. It's a bit of a long story, but yeah, that's where I'm from. The next question is from M, and M asks, do you plan on practicing in the UK after your FY2, given the ongoing NHS situation? Yeah, that's a fair question. Obviously, there is a lot of things going on with the NHS right now, but my current plan is to stay in the UK. I really want to practice here as an FY1, FY2, and probably do the majority of my training in the UK. And then one day, who knows where I'll be. I might go back to Kenya, I might be in America, and Australia, like who knows, I have no idea where I'll end up. But it would be nice to travel the world a bit more and maybe do some rotations abroad. I would absolutely love that. And I can't wait for my medical elective in my final year to experience doing practicing medicine abroad. But yeah, as of now, I have no plans of training away from the UK. The next question is a bit more academic, I guess, and this is from Amina. So Amina asks, how did you answer to the interview when they asked, why do you want to do medicine after your undergraduate degree? And the second question is, how did you revise for the UKCAT/MCAT, and how long did it take you to revise for it? Thank you. Yeah, so Amina, my answer is basically, so for those of you who don't know, I did biomedical sciences before I did medicine. And the way I would answer that is to say that I didn't really want to go down the path of lab work. Obviously, lab work is very important, and we needed to, to continue medicine and to continue all the new treatments. But lab work just wasn't for me. I love interacting with people on a daily basis. I love helping people straight away. The thing about science is that it takes a very long time to have an impact in people's lives. It might take you a couple of years to publish a very good paper which impacts people's lives, but I really wanted to impact people's lives on a daily basis and just change lives and just be very social. So that's what I would say. Coffee break. But yeah, the second part of her question is, how did you revise for the UKCAT? So for the UKCAT, I took about 3 weeks out of my summer to revise for it. I did two things. The first thing is that I used this book called, this book by Kaplan. I'll put it on the screen. And the second thing is I used Medify for a couple of weeks as well to just practice the questions. And yeah, that's basically how I revised the UKCAT. The next question is from Patrick, and he asks, how many languages do I speak? So I speak 2 languages. I speak Swahili and I speak English as well, obviously. Yeah, it's really funny. Like whenever I'm in Kenya and I speak Swahili, they always look at me and think, oh my gosh, I can't believe you speak Swahili. I mean, fair enough, my accent is very foreign, but I do speak Swahili. Yeah, I always get pretty weird looks whenever I speak it. And it's also really funny because whenever I go to Japan, my grandmother from my dad's side, she's Japanese and she doesn't really speak English that well. So whenever her and I have a conversation, we have a mixed conversation of Japanese, English and French. So it ends up being a very weird conversation. I can speak a bit of Japanese, but not as much as I do Swahili. But yeah, hopefully one day I'd love to just learn Japanese completely and just be able to speak it, because I think that'd be absolutely amazing. And I am half Japanese, so it would make a lot of sense. The next question is from Mariam. Sorry if I butchered your name, but I think it's Mariam. She says, hi, I'm not sure if you already answered this in any one of your other videos. I newly subscribed, but I'd like to know why people study medicine. Is it a personal reason, or are you just genuinely interested? Sometimes I feel a bit nervous about it because jumping in for me means no backing out, and I just want to be sure. It's a really basic question, but I want to know. Also, I know you said you went to Birmingham and did a bachelor's degree in medical science. So is this the first time you're applying, or did you once apply and not get in, or feel unready or something? A shout out would be really cool though. So shout out to you, Mariam, and thank you so much for the question. So why did I want to do medicine? I really just genuinely am interested in medicine. I think the reason why I was inspired to do medicine is from living in Kenya. So when I lived in Kenya, me and my friends, me and my school used to go to the local slums. We spent a lot of our time there. We did a lot of voluntary work. And then I guess, dealing with people who are less fortunate kind of made me realize how lucky I am to be able to go to the UK and study, and made me realize what being a doctor could actually do for other people's lives. And I definitely want to go back to Kenya one day, maybe during my free time or when I'm there on holiday, and just help out, provide free healthcare, and just change the people's lives that are in Kenya that I left behind. So that is the reason why I want to do medicine. I also just love science. As I mentioned in one of my last videos, I used to love watching Dexter's Laboratory. So if you watch Dexter's Laboratories, and shout out to you, let me know in the comments down below if you have. But I absolutely used to love watching that, and that just kind of brought me into the field of science. So that's the first question. The next question is, was it my first time applying to medicine? Yes. When I was in my A-levels, I really wanted to apply to medicine, but I didn't end up getting the best A-levels, so I didn't even bother applying. Because after my first year exams in college, in year 12, I didn't get the best grades, and I was predicted A star, A, B, and the B prediction was in chemistry, so I didn't want to risk applying to medicine. So I applied to biomedical science straight out. No, actually I applied for biology. So I applied for biology, and I realized, actually, crap, I don't want to do biology. I really want to do biomedical sciences. So I emailed the universities and I was like, can you please change me to biomedical sciences? And they did. This was actually my first time applying to medicine. I've never sat the UKCAT before. I've never had a medical school interview before. So straight after my degree, this was technically my first attempt into medicine. And yeah, I guess I was just really lucky. Okay, the next question is from Heli. Heli asks, hi Kenji. A question I want to ask is how, as you applying as a graduate, made you a better applicant over undergrads, i.e. your experiences? And how did you not getting to Birmingham affect and motivate you to apply to study medicine? Thanks, lol. She also says, I'm kind of in a similar position as you were. I studied biomed and I had an interview for med at my university, but I didn't get in, and now I'm applying for undergraduate medicine. Yeah, it's a really good question. Thank you so much for sending it in. Okay, so the first part of the question is, how did me applying as a graduate make me a better applicant compared to undergrads? So the first thing is that when I applied as a graduate, I had so much more experience, not just life experience, but I had a lot more experience in terms of the hospitals. I had a lot of lab work. I had a lot of grants that I was given to fund my research. I was also a lot more mature, so the interviews were a lot better for me, I think. I was able to kind of be more confident and compose myself, which I definitely wouldn't have been for me personally if I was 18. I also had a lot more life experience, so I mean for me personally, having a lot more life experience just makes medicine so much better for me and a lot more easier. I'm a lot more mature now, so dealing with things that are very hard in medicine, like dealing with seeing sick people on the wards, dealing with death, I feel like I deal with it a lot better as a 22-year-old than I would have if I was 18, 19. But yeah, I think just generally preparing myself for the interview and having the actual interview itself was a lot easier for me, me being a bit older. But yeah, I would never change my life experience. I would never ever wish I got into medicine the first time. Honestly, going to Birmingham and meeting all these amazing people and having all this extra life experience for me was just so much better. I did a lot of traveling in the 3 years of my undergraduate degree. I met amazing people, I went to amazing places, and I would never change it for the world. So if you're also a graduate, then just trust the process and trust that this is the right path for you. And once you do enter medicine, everything will be perfect. So yeah, that's the first part of the question. The next part of the question is, how did you not getting into Birmingham affect your motivation? So it's a good question. I still remember the day I got rejected from Birmingham. I was sat in my room, I was working on my dissertation, and an email came through from Birmingham, and I was so excited. I was like, yes, hopefully I got in. But unfortunately, it was a rejection. And that was my third rejection. So I only had one more option, which was King's, and I still hadn't heard back from King's. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you, it did affect my motivation a little bit initially. I was a bit sad. But then I got the interview from King's, and I went for the King's interview, and 3 days later I had the offer from King's. And I live in London now, and honestly, I'm so happy with being in London. I'm so happy with where I am. I'm obviously from London. I'm from Northwest London. So being able to live in my own city is amazing. And to be honest with you, looking back now, if I'd stayed in Birmingham, it would have been a lot different, because Birmingham was amazing for me because I had all my friends and I had my life set out for me. But once I graduated, all my friends went to different places across the country, and I'd always kind of remember having all these experiences with my friends. I'd see their ghosts everywhere. And Birmingham may not have been as good as it was for my first degree. So looking back now, I am very happy with where I am now. I'm very happy with the friends I've met. I'm very happy with my life. And I think everything happens for a reason. Like, I really, really believe that coming to London was the plan for me. Being in London is amazing. I found an amazing lab that I can work in. Living in central London is so amazing. There's so many different things that you can do. And yeah, I just believe that it was God's plan, and I'm really happy that I'm in London now. Although initially it did make me a bit upset, in the long run, I'm very, very happy with where it came out and just believe in the process. But yeah, good luck, Kelly. I wish you all the best, and I'm sure things will work out for you as well. Okay, the next question is from Hazel. Hazel asks, "Hi, my question is, what makes King's unique compared to other UK medical schools in London?" Oh gosh, okay, let me start again. Hazel asks, "Hi, my question is, what makes King's unique compared to other medical schools in London as well as in the UK? I have an interview next week. I'm excited yet nervous." My name is Hazel, by the way. So shout out to you, Hazel. I hope the interview went amazing for you, and it probably did. Yeah, good question. So what makes King's unique? I think the best thing about King's is that we're right in the centre of London, right next to the Shard. If you don't know what the Shard is, it's a huge pointy building that looks like a shard. But it's right in the centre of London. You can literally walk anywhere from campus. You can walk to Tower Bridge, you can walk to London Eye, you can walk to Sky Gardens, you can walk to Borough Market. It's honestly the most amazing location to have a university. The second thing which is really amazing about King's is hospitals. So in King's, our main hospitals are GKT, so Guy's, King's and St Thomas's Hospital. And these are some of the most amazing teaching hospitals in the whole of the country. The teaching is very, very good, and the research that goes on in them is absolutely amazing as well. So the hospitals are a very, very key thing. The third thing is that King's is one of the only medical schools in the country that still does dissection. So I think only 3 other medical schools, or 2 other medical schools still do dissection. And dissecting a cadaver, for me, honestly, I know I sound crazy, but it was the best experience so far at medical school. I love dissection. And it really made me want to be a surgeon. So that is one of the best things about King's as well. And yeah, to be honest, just having King's in London is amazing. So I was in Birmingham for my last degree, and I can definitely say that there's a lot more to do in London, because London's obviously the biggest city. If you want to go on holiday, there's 3 different airports that you can fly from, or maybe more than that. So it's so easy to get to the airports whenever we want to travel. And I just love being in London, and it's such a unique experience. It's so diverse, it's so multicultural, and there's so much to do. So yeah, those are my favorite things about King's. The next question is from Geronimo. Geronimo asks, "What's your best advice for doing well in the medicine/physician associate interview?" Yeah, thank you so much, Geronimo. That's a really good question. My best advice for doing well in the interviews is just to be confident. Honestly, confidence is the most important thing. Even as a medical student, honestly, sometimes when I'm seeing patients, I'm speaking to doctors, I have absolutely no idea what I'm talking about. I probably sound like I'm talking absolute rubbish, but when I sound confident, it makes a huge difference. No, I'm only joking, but confidence is such a main thing. It really is important to just act confident, act like you know what you're saying. Even if you are nervous on the inside, I know I was so nervous in my interviews, but you just have to fake this confidence, and you will honestly do well. So before the interview, spend a lot of time kind of meditating and making yourself confident and just believing in yourself. Because if you were given a medicine interview, then it means there's something unique about you, and it's something that the university wants from you. So just be confident in yourself, trust in yourself, and you'll do absolutely amazing. The next question is from Ayan. Ayan asks, "How did you stay motivated to get through your first degree?" So I think the main thing to stay motivated is just to remember the reason why you started. I think to do anything in life and to be successful in anything, you need to have a reason to do what you do. So what is your why? What is the reason you get up in the morning? What is the reason you work so hard? You always have to have a why, a purpose. So every single day when I woke up in the morning, I'd always remember the reason why I wanted to do this degree. I always reminded myself that medicine is the ultimate goal, and I just always kept that in my mind. So find out what exactly you want to do, find out why you want to do it, and once you have these 2 things, keep it in your head every single day. I used to spend like 5 minutes every day, before going to bed, and just imagining myself getting into medicine. I used to spend a lot of time just thinking about me as a doctor. One day, your dreams will become reality. So yeah, those are the main reasons that I use to stay motivated. So the next question comes from Rebecca. Rebecca says, "Huge congrats first of all for hitting 2,000 subbies. Thank you very much. And the question is, have you always wanted to do medicine from a young age? If not, then what made you choose to do it? Also, please shout me out. Thank you." So shout out to you, Rebecca. Yes, good question. So actually when I was younger, I always wanted to be a scientist. As I said, Dexter's Laboratory was my thing. I absolutely loved that. When I was about 6 years old, I had my own laboratory. So in my room, I made a little lab. I had a microscope. I had loads of different slides that I just find random shit in the back garden, and I put it on the slide and just look at it on the microscope. So I always wanted to be a scientist, and it wasn't until I was about 14 years old that my mum gave me the idea of becoming a doctor. And I did a bit of research on being a doctor, and I found out that you can actually do both. You can be a researcher, a scientist, and you can also be a doctor as well. And then I realized that actually, growing older, that my characteristics suit being a doctor more than being a scientist. And I really wanted to do both. So right now, as I said, I work in a lab. I am a scientist, and I'm also a doctor. And that was my ultimate goal. So yeah, so initially it was science, and then it became medicine, and now it's both. So yeah. So the next question is from Shehan. Shehan asks, what is the worst thing about medical school? Probably have to take a coffee break for this one, to be honest. Okay, so the worst thing about medical school, I can't really say that it's the worst thing because it's kind of what you sign up for when you decide to go for a career in medicine. But the worst thing is probably that medicine can be quite a challenging degree sometimes. And if you're not careful, it's very easy for medicine to take over your life. If you let it, it can put a lot of strain in your relationships because you have a lot of exams, you have a lot of work. So it is easy to go down the route of letting medicine take over your life. And sometimes I had to force myself and remember that actually medicine is not my life. You know, medicine is a part of my life, and I have a lot more important things in my life as well, like my family, my friends, relationships, whatever it is. Yeah, so sometimes it can be quite stressful, especially when some of your friends on different degrees have time to go on holiday all the time, have time to chill a lot, and you don't necessarily do. You just have to remember that medicine is not a sprint, it's a marathon, and you have to pace yourself, and just remember that actually you do have a lot of free time as well if you do put in the work. And just remember to not go down the path of letting it take over your life, because if you do let it take over your life, medicine honestly will. But then again, that's kind of what you sign up for, and there's 100 good things about medicine. That's just one thing that's a bit, it's a bit hard to understand and a bit hard to kind of grasp sometimes. But yeah, the next question is from Raheem. Raheem asks, what has been your favorite moments at King's? And congratulations on hitting 2K. You deserve every single subscriber. Thank you so much, Raheem. Very kind of you. So my best time at King's probably was just starting King's. I think just starting medical school in general, the first couple of months was amazing. Just realizing that I've made it now. I finally got through the front doors. It was very surreal. Just, receiving your lanyard saying medical students, just sitting in a lecture and having people address you as medical students. It is a very surreal experience. Freshers Week as a medic is amazing. Just meeting all these new people. That period of my life was just so much fun. In terms of like medicine itself, I'd say that dissection was probably the best thing ever that I absolutely loved. As well as that, starting hospitals in year 2, starting hospital placements and GP placements was amazing. And every single day that I step into the hospital, every single day that I put on my smart clinical clothes, go to the GP, I'm so happy, and it's always a great reminder to know that you finally made it. So if you're in the process of applying to medical school, work hard, put in the grind now, and I promise you, when you do become medical students, you will have the best time of your life. So that has been the best moments at King's so far. Okay, the next question is from David. David asks, what do you want to do in medicine as a future career? Like, what kind of speciality you want to go into? Thank you so much for asking that question, David. I'm probably thinking about going into surgery. As I said, I love dissection. I loved cutting. I know it sounds really weird, but I love cutting into the human body. I really love just anatomy as well. So I'm thinking about going down the route of surgery, maybe neurosurgery as well. I read all the books by Henry Marsh. If you haven't read them, very good books. I also met Henry Marsh a couple of weeks ago. I went to one of his talks in London. So yeah, possibly surgery, maybe neurosurgery. I'm also interested in psychiatry as well. So right now I have like some extracurricular placements in psychiatry that I'm doing, and that's pretty cool as well. And in January, in my student selected project, which we have as part of our course in medicine, I've chosen to do a project in surgery as well. So I'll be in surgery, working with surgeons to remove urinary tract stones, which is so cool, so amazing, and I can't wait for that. So yeah, possibly surgery. Ask me in a couple of years, it might be the complete opposite thing. But right now I'm thinking about surgery, yeah. So the last question is from Limaj. So yeah, again, sorry if I butchered your name, but Limaj asks, how much work experience do you do, and what do you believe would be essential parts to put in your personal statement, i.e. participating in school debates or playing sports? So shout out to you, Limaj. So in terms of work experience, I actually made a video on all of my work experience, so go check it out. So just quickly, I did 2 placements in hospital. I did neurosurgery and liver medicine. I worked for a year in a care home. I had a summer project in a lab as well. I got funding for that. I did a lot of things at my university as well. So I gave talks across Birmingham to try and encourage people to attend university, to go to university. I gave talks in open days. I was a social media ambassador. I was a technology ambassador. I was the open day ambassadors, so I did quite a lot of things. But yeah, go check the video out for like the full comprehensive review of what I did. In terms of what's an essential part in your personal statement, I think it's really important to just reflect on the experiences that you've had. So not just mention that, oh yeah, I did a placement in hospital, but actually say what you've learned from it. I think it's also really important to kind of add your own individualistic edge to your personal statement. So show your personality. So my personal statement, again, if you haven't seen it, go watch the video on that. But in my personal statements, I kind of talked about how I'm from Kenya, and a lot of the reasons why I wanted to pursue a career in medicine was from living in Kenya. So just add your personality. The person reading your personal statement will have read hundreds of different personal statements, so they really like to see someone who's unique. So try and find a story in your life or something in your life that's unique to you. And yeah, hopefully that will be enough. Okay, so I've answered a few questions. If you like more of these like kind of personal videos where I just have a chat, please let me know down in the comments so I can make some more of them. I'd love to just, you know, kind of go down the route of my own personal life as well. And yeah, it's been really fun. I hope these questions have been interesting. I don't know if my life is interesting. I don't know if you guys are still watching, but if you are, thank you so much. Please feel free to follow me on my social media, subscribe to the channel if you haven't, give this video a thumbs up as well, please. Let me know in the comments about anything you'd like to see in the future. And yeah, good luck with your medical school application. I hope it goes really well. And yeah, keep sending in questions. If you see me around London, if you see me on campus, keep coming up to me and say hi, because I love meeting you guys. And thank you so much for watching the video, and I'll see you guys in the next one.